just like to talk to you about how to decide which type of shoe is a good shoe to pick, and also a little bit about shoe fitting and picking the correct size shoe. First of all, what I would recommend whenever picking a shoe is to go to a reputable shop that will measure your foot, and so you can be assured that you get the correct shoe size. Whenever you're buying a shoe, a simple tip is to stand up next to the shoe and just look at the width of your foot and put it next to the shoe, and you can decide whether or not that your foot looks wider than the shoe you stood next to. If you are at home, what you can also do with your shoes is draw around your foot on a piece of paper and put that next to the new shoe to make sure that your foot isn't wider than the shoe. Essentially, when you pick any shoe, you should have a look at the shoe, make sure there's enough width on the shoe so that your toes are not pressing on either side. Have a look at the depth of the shoe so that you're not getting irritation on top of the toes, and also have a look that your toes are a good thumb width away from the end of the shoe. A good tip in regards to the support and stability of the shoe is pick up the shoe and bend the forefoot, and if the forefoot bends just in the toe region, then the shoe does have a good support. If it bends in the centre of the shoe or doesn't bend at all, it means it's probably too hard or too soft. Another tip to decide whether the shoe's got a reasonable sole is to turn the shoe over and to just gently compress with your thumb. If you have a small amount of give in the shoe, it usually has some cushioning effects. If you can compress the shoe right down to the sole, then it's generally too soft. And if you cannot compress the shoe at all with your thumb, it's generally too hard. Another tip is to take the shoe and gently twist from side to side. There should be a slight or very small amount of movement in the shoe. If you can compress or twist the shoe completely, it's generally too soft underneath the sole, and I wouldn't recommend to buy this. Whenever buying a shoe, preferably if you're going to be putting insoles into it, it needs to have a full shoe coming up all the way up to the top. It needs to have a fastening system, either Velcro, lace-up or a buckle, and it needs to have a firm heel to support the foot as it rolls in when you're walking. If the shoe doesn't have any of these qualities, then generally I wouldn't buy it.